the media, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, for being here. It's a matter of huge pride for me to sit on this dais today. And all due thanks to the gentleman on my left, Charu, who, over a year ago, came and met me and pitched Pro Kabaddi to me. You know, when he first showed me the video that we just saw about how Kabaddi is played today, it overwhelmed me. I was taken aback by what all we just take for granted. Bachchan mein hum sab ne Kabaddi khela hai. My first memories of Kabaddi, I think I remember, were watching, obviously I'm a film child, so was watching a film of my father's called Ganga Ki Saugand. I don't know if you all have seen it, but he plays Kabaddi in that. And unfortunately, the rules state that we have to say Kabaddi, 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 Kabaddi. Otherwise, I would have made him say the line that my father says, Ki tera mooch lal, lal, lal. And hopefully, we'll try and see if we can get the Jaipur team to say those words. But Kabaddi is something that, you know, I think every parent teaches their kid to play. It's such a cheap sport, if you think about it. In cricket, you need a lot of paraphernalia. Even in football, which is still very cheap, you need a ball. In Kabaddi, you don't need anything. You just need to draw a court in the ground, and that's it. You go out there and you play. And the amount of skill required is immense. And I think it was, over a year ago that Charu came and spoke to me about this and said that they were very excited about putting this together. Immense thanks to Star for coming on board. Star gives us a wonderful platform to showcase this brilliant sport. Charu has spoken beautifully about, you know, the heritage and the history of Kabaddi. And he's educated me a lot about it over the past year. And like he said, it is the only indigenous Indian sport that we have. We're a cricket-loving nation. We all love cricket. So do I. But it's a British sport. Hockey is a British sport. As far as I know, Kabaddi is the only Indian sport that is still played. And here we have an opportunity to magnify that and bring it and serve it on a platform which it does not have currently. And he appealed to the patriot in me when he first spoke to me, and he obviously made a huge impression. To take a sport that is ours, that we should be proud of. Sportsmen that don't have the facilities that some of the more accomplished and more established sports in India already have. And to give them the opportunity to compete with the infrastructure that Charu and his team plan to put out, I think is a proposal which very few or very insensitive people will say no to. One of the clinching factors is when he spoke to me, he said, look, we'll have about 100 players in the entire tournament, of which 70 odd will be Indian. We'll have to give we have to give some of the foreigners a chance, which I thought was fantastic. Because, you know, if you think about cricket, you see, for example, in the IPL, they have that you can only have 5 foreign players. In any other sport, there's a quota that you have to have. You know, you can only take so many. Don't overwhelm. We want to promote Indian talent. What I liked over here was his confidence that let's give the foreigners a chance as well. Nahi to bhaiya unko chance milne wala nahi hai. And not many people know, India has won the championship 6 years in a row. 6 times. 6 Asian Games in a row. We're the undisputed champions of Kabaddi in the world. And you will be shocked where all this sport is played. From the Netherlands to England to Canada to Korea, Afghanistan, Pakistan. These are sports, these are countries we don't associate with Kabaddi. You would think predominantly the Indian subcontinent, but it is played around the world. And keeping all this in mind, India is still the best country at it, undisputed. And this is without them getting the exposure and the level of infrastructure that we can provide to them. This is basically raw talent. Now imagine if that talent is met with a lot of corporate backing, is met with a definite infrastructure, and met once they have an organized league like what we propose in Pro Kabaddi. The horizon is not very far. And it's a movement. I don't like to call it the league. It's a movement. It's a revolution in Kabaddi that I like to call it. which Charu has started, and I really feel we can make a huge difference. Obviously, sitting here, we're going to need you all, you know. We need you all to support us. This is, like I said, an Indian sport. I have been a sportsman in my school days, in college days. I'm a huge sports enthusiast, whatever sport it is. Here's a sport that's ours, that we should have huge amount of pride in. So, you know, we really need to get behind it. And that was one of the main reasons why when Charu came to me and spoke to me, one of my deciding factors was that it is our sport. It is something we have to be proud about. And it's something we need to do something about. You know, I would hate it, like Charu said earlier on when he was talking, that, you know, 10 saal baad, a foreigner will come and say, let's do something with Kabaddi. But this is our sport. This is something that we should be proud of. And this is something we as Indians should do. So this is our endeavor to try and do this. We have a wonderful team that has been set up. They're great franchisee owners that have come on board, which Charu has very diligently and rigorously, with a magnifying glass, handpicked. And we hope to be able to make a difference. I appeal to you, the media, that we need your support in whichever way. And it's very exciting for me to... I'm a film actor, and it's very exciting for me as a wannabe sportsman to be associated with India's own sport. Hopefully we can make a huge difference and entertain you all as well, because it's immensely exciting to see this sport. You all have to... I mean, now Mumbai has a team as well, which Ronnie owns, and their home stadium is the NSCI. And, you know, we'd be more than glad to invite all of you all to our Mumbai matches. I'd love to invite you all to the Jaipur matches as well. Come see, it's a lot of fun. And let's support these guys. Let's, you know, get behind the sport and let's take it to the level. And like everybody you saw on the AV said, this can and has the potential of being the next big sport in this country. And give it time, and it can be as big, if not bigger, than cricket. Another fact which really was something that really jumped up at me was when I spoke to you, sir, last, and percentage-wise, if you take all the cricket matches, that, you know, all the three different forms that are played, which is Test, 50 overs and T20, Kabaddi in percentages and proportionately sells out a lot more than even cricket does in this country. You go to any Kabaddi match, granted the stadiums are a lot smaller, but like Charu said, they're sold out. This is a sport which is immensely popular with the masses of India and in rural India. And I think it has huge potential. And once it's brought onto this format, and once we get to showcase this sport to the entire world, I really think the feedback and the response is going to be huge. So, Charu, it's thank you for having me on board. And like I keep saying, it's a matter of huge pride for me to get behind this, back the Jaipur team, and to back India's only indigenous sport. So thank you all for being here, and I'll hand it over to Charu.